Tag.
Hey, Shelly, thanks. Welcome. Thanks for coming on.
I missed you guys.
Good. We missed you. I'm glad you're back.
Never gone, just working a lot of hours.
That's okay. If you guys are just getting on the call, let us know who you are and where you're calling from.
Mike Kern, Imperial, Missouri.
Hey, Mike.
It's Theresa.
Theresa, how are you?
Good.
Deep. I'm liking the sound of this tonight. Everybody's getting ready for a jam-packed call. Going to be some amazing stories, 2 great transformations. My co-host Teresa's waiting there. I'm excited. If you guys are just getting on the call, let us know who you are and where you're calling from.
Jennifer from West Virginia.
Welcome, Jennifer.
The Benassa family from West Virginia.
Welcome. Guys, and if you're on the call and you know somebody that needs to lose 50 pounds or more, heck, if you need somebody that just needs some hope and needs some motivation, send them a text, send them a Facebook message, get them on the call tonight. It's going to be a great one.
Hi, Pat. Riel from Edmonton.
Hey, Riel.
Thanks, Pat.
We got just a minute. I'm just waiting to hear if my guests are on, looking for Stephanie and Brian. If you're out there, say hi, guys.
Carol Guinea from Nerdby.
Welcome.
Hey, Pat. Stephanie Ross is here.
Stephanie is here. There's beep waiting for Brian Colebank. All right, guys, 30 more seconds. I know Brian will be on the line shortly. If you guys are just getting on, let us know who you are and where you're calling from. Get those last-minute texts out. All right, well, you know what? We're going to get this thing rolling. I know Brian's going to be out there. I have hope. My name is Pat Ryan. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Hope Call. I am a Body by Vi active champion, proud member of the 100-Pound Club, and even prouder member of TeamViHOPE. How's it going? We are in for a jam-packed, excited call tonight. 2 great transformations, and I have a co-host that is there. I'm going to tell my story a little bit later at the end of the call. But I want to introduce Theresa Thomas right now. How many times have you been regional champ? Like 37? No, I know. You're going to be champ soon, I know. You out there, Theresa?
I'm here. I wish I was champ, but I'm right now currently Southwest Regional champ. Got the title in 2014 at Vitality in Houston. I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I started back in actually almost 3 years now, coming up on my 3-year anniversary. And I started because I knew I had a major problem when I moved down to San Antonio, and there was taco stands on every corner. They got the best of me. Gained 20 pounds in not even a month. Knew there was something I needed to do. So a good friend of mine, just let me know about the shakes and let me know that it could change my life. Little did I know, 3 weeks later, I ended up giving in and started the challenge. My first 90 days, I lost 40 pounds. Let's fast forward that, and let's just jump to 18 months in, hit 100 pounds down. A month after that, I ran a full marathon. And now to date, I'm down 140 pounds. I've gained some lean muscle within that time. One day, I'm gonna kick it out. I'm gonna walk that stage in a bikini. I'm gonna strut myself as a Vi model, hopefully. Not anytime soon, but one day. Pat and I one day will be up there. But right now, what I want to do is I want to kick this over to our 2 guests, and I want to bring on this first lady who has so much passion towards the 100-Pound Club at TeamViHOPE and is really out there supporting so many people. She's an inspiration to me. I hope one day I can look as hot as her. Stephanie, are you on the phone?
I am, Theresa. Thank you so much. And
you're so welcome.
TeamViHOPE and the 100-Pound Club has been such an unbelievable inspiration to me. When Dave Morgan called me to ask me to talk on this call, I was like, no. My first response was like, no way. Like, I'm not worthy to speak into your guys' life. So I absolutely love all of you. I follow you guys. I share your stories nonstop to all of my loved ones and all of my friends and Facebook friends, everybody. So I just want to give you guys a shout out. You know, I love you guys. So I got started with Vithalis about a year and a half ago, but a little bit of background about me. I'm from a small town in Owasso, Michigan. I always was an athlete in high school and growing up. I was kind of a tomboy. I grew up with two older brothers, and I never really had to work hard for my figure. I was always so active, and I basically grew up on junk food. So, it was something that I never really had to worry about. When I went to college, though, surprise, surprise, I not only gained the freshman 15, but I actually gained about 20 pounds in my first semester alone. Not only that, I kind of had a rough, when I was younger, my parents went through a rough divorce. I had, a lot of little things that caused a lot of self-esteem issues. So when I hit college and gained that 20 pounds, depression really set in hard. I was just completely miserable. But a couple of years down the road, I found that man of my dreams in college. I played college golf at Eastern Michigan University. My husband also played college golf there, and that's where I met him, and we had a beautiful little girl my junior year of college. But that didn't help the weight gain issue at all either. I gained probably about an extra 40 pounds with my pregnancy and was able to knock about all those 40 pounds back off, but I still had the 20 pounds to lose. So when I was introduced to Vithalis, I really wasn't at a point where I wanted to try anything. I didn't want to change anything. I didn't want to have to count calories. I didn't want to have to do anything, drastic to change my eating habits. So, basically, I got on board, dropped 20 pounds in my first 90 days, and was completely sold, obviously. But what meant more to me was being able to share it with my family and friends, being able to meet people like Dave Morgan and Pat Ryan and Calvin Santana. Hear his story to this day makes me cry, and share that because I knew one day that I had to be a leader, and I knew that day was now because I was a mother. I'd become a mother, and sharing that with my father. He was 300 pounds at the time, didn't want to change anything as well, but he saw me drop that 20 pounds, and he saw what it did for my self-esteem and me as a person, and bringing me so much, self-confidence, that something that I hadn't had for a long time. So he is currently down 65 pounds on his challenge, which is amazing. I'm so proud of him. But my mom is down 40 pounds. My cousin was able to drop 40 pounds. My best friend from back home dropped 20 pounds in 90 days. And all of them had other transformations along with it. Not only physical transformations, but emotional, spiritual. And that, that's what really brought me joy. So to hear, from you guys, my 100-pound club, just, when I went to my very first event and heard you guys up there on stage, I think the very first one I heard from was Calvin Santana, and, it just, and of course Dave Morgan was on my team, so I've heard his story before, but I can just relate so much. I have a lot of family who, really needs to lose weight, and it was a matter of life or death for some of them, and the TeamViHOPE has given me so much motivation to continue sharing this challenge with people. And actually, Dave Morgan challenged me to get buy-ups by Christmas. And what I'm really excited about is my next challenge, which actually, me being the tomboy that I am, the athlete, I'm actually going to compete on stage in a bikini for a fitness competition. So it's pretty crazy. It's definitely out of my comfort zone, but I made a commitment to David that I was going to get those abs, and it didn't happen by Christmas, but but it better happen by May 23rd or no. Anyway, I started with the kit. I started with was the Fit Kit, but I actually use all the products. So I use the cereal. The Crunch cereal. I give it to my daughter. My daughter eats Bai pancakes too. So literally our house is stocked with Bai products, and that's, from day one, we loved and tried all the products and loved it. So my one tip for success is just take it one day at a time. I knew that if I could get through one day of drinking 2 milkshakes a day, and just the whole idea of challenging myself, if I could just get through one day, I knew that, maybe I could be successful with it. So, I got 3 for free in my very first month of taking the challenge, because I just shared it with everyone I love, my dad, my mom, like I said, my cousin, my best friend, and I haven't, a year and a half later, I still don't pay for any Vitalis products, which is wonderful. So I'm going to kick it back to you, Theresa. Thank you again for letting me share my story on the call. So really,
Stephanie, you are wonderful. You rock. We are going to be supporting you for that competition. And I'm right behind you. I got abs coming too. So I'm going to be up on stage with you one day, girlfriend.
Heck yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing your story. Now I'm going to kick it over to a very special man who is the newest member of our 200-pound club. Mr. Brian Colebank, are you on the phone with us?
Yeah, you got me?
I do. Go ahead, kick it off, share your story with us.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Theresa. Basically, I was your average high school athlete, played football, basketball, baseball, was always a bigger kid. Basically, when I graduated high school, the sports stopped, but the eating habits continued. My weight ballooned. I got to the point where I just stopped stepping on the scale. I'd go to the doctor and I would, even just say, that can't weigh me, and I'd just make up a number and tell them what I weighed, just to the point where I wouldn't have to actually find out what I weighed. Got to a point where after we had my second son in December of 2013, I knew something had to change. So I did what everybody did. I got my gym membership, to start 2014 off, and didn't really actually use it till about the middle of the month. I decided, on a Friday afternoon, I was like, I need to go to the gym. I need to start doing something. So I, drove to the gym. It was a busy Friday afternoon. I tried to walk from my car to the gym. I had to park about 75, 80 yards away from the gym. I couldn't make it. I tried to walk, picked my bag up and tried to walk from there, and my knees were hurting. My back started to hurt. I was out of breath. I got to the point about halfway there. I decided, there's no point to keep going. No point to walk into the gym, because if I can't make it there, there's no way I'm going to actually be able to do anything when I get in there. So as I was walking back to my car, I started to cry. It hit me hard that, how am I going to do anything by myself? I've tried all the other diets. I've tried Weight Watchers and all that stuff, and nothing seemed to work. I sat in my car and I cried. I prayed and cried and said, something's got to change, God. I need your help. 4 days later, my high school football teammate, Dirk Mercer, sent me a message on Facebook, basically saying, I know you've always struggled with your weight. We haven't talked much lately, but I started this challenge, and I would really like you to take a look at it and see if it would help you out. and I was working midnight shift at that time, so I went ahead, I was bored at work, so I started searching online. I started seeing stories like Mike, who's at 300 pounds, and a couple other guys that were 100 pounds, and saw their videos and everything. I was like, I think this is something I need to take a look at. So I talked to my wife the next morning, and she was like, yes, let's do it. So we looked over our finances. I actually started with the shape kit the first time, and within the first week I was on it, which I started officially on February 7th after I took the time to order the kit, and I actually had to order a scale because I didn't have a scale that would weigh me. On February 7th, when I stepped on the scale, I'd weighed 227.8 pounds. When I graduated high school, I weighed about 270 pounds. So from the time I was 18 to the time I was 36, I gained that much weight. I started to cry when I stepped on the scales, but it was a different kind of a cry. It was, I think I was sad that I actually weighed that much, but I was also happy that I knew that I was about to start on something that I thought was going to change my life. Fast forward at 7 days from then, I stepped on the scale again for my first official weigh-in, and I had lost 11 pounds. First 2 weeks, I was down almost 20 pounds, to the point where I was 45 days in, I'd lost 46 pounds. My first complete 90 days, I'd lost 68 pounds. I hit the 100-pound mark around 130 days. And then, as everybody does, you start to slow down a little bit, and then you start to pick up a little bit. I started the first 45 or 50 days not actually going to the gym and doing anything because I still couldn't do anything. I was still too big to actually do much movement. Once I was able to actually go to the gym, I just did some cardio and started slowly working in some extra lifting and stuff. Fast forward it to last September, I actually joined the local gym, had a contest they called The Biggest Loser. I actually competed in it. It's an 8-week program. I finished second place in it. The only reason I actually finished second is I signed up one of my teammates as a customer, and she actually beat me. So it was actually a good thing. Then I joined it again this past January and actually won it this time. It's actually what helped propel me to get to 200 pounds. I got to 200 pounds in 423 days. So that was kind of unbelievable that I lost 200 pounds in 423 days. I went from the guy that couldn't even get off the couch to walk across the house, to help my son in his bedroom do something, to this past weekend I was out coaching my son's baseball team, which we actually sponsored. It's called the Project 10 Kids. I was running sprints with the kids. I was running around the bases with the kids. And then an hour later, after the baseball practice ended, I played a flag football game with my son's team of 5- and 6-year-olds, and I'm actually the quarterback on that team. So I'm out running around doing everything I can do. So it's just a matter of, if you're out there and you're listening to this call, the support system's there. TeamViHOPE. I don't think I really knew what it meant for me until we went to NST in Fort Lauderdale. I was one of the lucky ones. I know a lot of us didn't have a support group at home or the support group within our uplines and our sidelines. My wife and my family were really supportive with me. I got a daily text message from my team, my upline ambassadors, my regional directors, and everybody were always there to support me. But most of them didn't understand exactly where I was coming from, where we come from. Being able to be in NST and actually meeting everybody for the first time and hearing their stories face to face and seeing what they've went through, it really changed me, emotionally. I was telling my upline RD tonight at our challenge group that for the first time ever, I was able to look at a picture and not see the 527-pound man. I was able to see the 327-pound man, and that's huge to be able to look at that and see that, to not see the fat guy that I used to be, to see the guy that lost 200 pounds, see the guy that's able to go out and be there for his 2 little boys, to be there for his wife. If my wife wants to go on a walk now, I can actually say, yeah, let's go, instead of before trying to find an excuse for the way to get out of it because I knew I couldn't go out and do it. I started out on the shape kit. Once my friends and family started to see my transformation, they started, signing up with me, so I was able to soon jump up to the transformation kit, and I have bounced back and forth between the transformation kit and the shape kit depending on my volume. But most of the last 6 to 8 months I've been on the transformation kit. It's definitely it's going to help you lose the weight the fastest. If you're out there and you're listening, I got one tip for you. Find your reason why. My 2 little boys and my beautiful wife that are sleeping in the other room in here, that's my reason why. Anytime I feel like, not going to the gym, or I feel like stopping at McDonald's and getting a Big Mac or getting a pizza from somewhere, I just look at them or I think about them, and it, kicks me right back into gear, right back into challenge mode, and gets me going. I would like just to have everybody out there, if you have any questions or need any support, look us up on Facebook. Make sure you join our team page. TeamViHOPE is there to support you. We're always in there to give suggestions or give moral support or give anything we can for you guys. So I'll kick it back over to you, Theresa.
Brian, thank you so much. I have goosebumps over here. I'm walking on the treadmill, and I am about to be in tears because your story touches me in so many ways. And there's a few things I just want to touch on. That what you just said. You counted your days. You didn't count it by 90 days. You counted every single day. And that's what matters. It's a day at a time. And that's all that matters, is you taking your challenge one day, one step at a time. So thank you for being so heartfelt, and it's such an amazing journey to be sharing it with you. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So amazing transformation. Now, I just want to give a tip, too, and I'm sitting here working out with one of my coworkers, and she's listening, too, so I'll probably embarrass her, but everyone needs to take it at a different pace. And Brian made a really important fact here is it's one day at a time, and you have to find your why. Your why is your strongest reason why you're doing this journey. So my biggest tip is finding that why. And you need to dig deep into your why. My why is because I'm not going to follow my family's genetic history of diabetes and renal kidney failure. So I'm doing this for my father, and I have a couple more journeys to take here, and we're all here. TeamViHOPE, that's part of it. So my favorite kit, I would say, is Transformation Kit, but my favorite product is a combination. That ViSlim ViTrim is a lethal weapon, and it comes in the Transformation Kit. So take a look at that if you're not on your transformation yet. I strongly suggest that kit. Pat, I'm going to kick it over to you. I always end up crying on these calls, but Pat, you got anything else to say?
Oh, I definitely do. I usually start out crying when I start talking. You're making your fat cry right now because it's sweating on the treadmill.
I am.
Talk about leading by example. What I wanted to finish off with today is something that Brian touched on. He brought me right to what I wanted to talk about. He was afraid to admit what he weighed at one point in time. When I started the challenge in 2011, I said I weighed 396 pounds, but I didn't. I weighed 430 pounds. I was so embarrassed that I couldn't admit it. So originally I lied, and when I lost my first 15 pounds, I thought, oh man, this stuff might actually work. So I better go back and change it. The reason I lied is because I didn't have hope. I had a reason why. I have my children here. I have my lovely Lauren, but I didn't have hope. I did not believe this product would work. I didn't believe anything about the challenge. When I started 3.5 years ago, the 100-pound club was just starting. The transformations were just beginning. So I didn't have a lot to look for, and I had to really focus on my why. Now, hope, when it started to develop for me, is when I hit my 100-pound club. And, I met some of the members, and I got to speak on stage, but it was real at that point in time, because up until 100 pounds for me, I was still a skeptic, believe it or not. It took me 3 challenges to lose the skepticism. But when hope kicked in, hope is that happy anticipation that something good is going to happen. That's when I believed it. For a lot of people, that's why we have Project 10, because that first 10 pounds is a secret. Well, for me, it was the 100 pounds. I did not believe it was going to work until then. So when that day hit, when I found that hope, it opened up things inside of me that I didn't remember that existed. Parts of me that had given up on life. I just tried to exist and get through. I said to Lauren many times that if I make it to 60, I'll be happy. And then I realized that my story could start to change people. My hope could start to spread hope. And that is the reason that we created TeamViHOPE. We have all come together under this banner from all different teams in this company for one mission. That is to change the world one person at a time, 10 pounds at a time. And that is what we do, and we wear our heart on our sleeve. Earlier while I was doing this, I was listening to some Joyce Meyer, and I have to quote some of her words because it really it fits for today. I would rather believe for a whole lot and get half of it than to believe for a little bit and get all of it. It doesn't cost you any more to believe for a lot than it does for a little. It doesn't cost anything to have hope, but it does cost you a lot if you are hopeless, because everything in your life begins to go down. Hope is a favorable and confident expectation that has to do with the unseen, and it has to do with the future. Before I had hope, I didn't think I had a future. When I found my hope, I found the future. Hope is a joyful look forward to change for the better. Hope is refusing to give up. These stories that you hear every week on this hope call from people who refuse to give up, people who found their hope. I know what it's like to feel hopeless. And every time I feel that way, I reach out to one of my amazing team members at TeamViHOPE. They're my friends, my family. They are the hope givers of the VI community. So if you are on this call and you are not part of the VI community, you're not part of the challenge, find the person that got you on this call and say, I need to join the challenge. I'm ready. Every 10 pounds you lose is not only going to help you, it's going to help a child in need. Join us in TeamViHOPE every Tuesday for our calls. Join us on Facebook and find your hope. With that, this call is officially over.
Love you all.